Hello, hello. How is everyone tonight? This is Sandy from Doux Designs. And hi, Diana. I was thinking that we would color this sweet little mermaid. She is one of the digital stamps in the shop. And then I pulled this out for the sticky mat, and lo and behold, look, there's the word hello on there. So maybe we should just use that since there it is, already there. I also want to use these shaker bits that are in the shop as well because they're pretty cool. It's called Ocean Mist, and it has a breakup of really cool blue and like teal, aqua, a mix that looks like it goes really well with the ocean, and these papers that I have pre-cut. So it all matches perfectly, so why not go with that? So what I'm gonna do is start off by, I'm just gonna leave those on there because if we're gonna use them, we might as well color them. So I'm just going to add her right to my sticky mat. And then we're going to color her up. Hi, Meg. There we go. All right, so now I can flip her around and use her easily right here in front of us. I'm very excited. So she doesn't really have a name. She's just called Mermaid and Jellyfish in the set that I have. And there are two different kinds of jellyfish with the digital stamp set. So, but the card wasn't gonna, with the shaker bits, the card wasn't gonna be big enough for me to do the jellyfish as well. Believe me, I tried to put it in there, but it just did not work for me. So I decided to roll without it. Anyway, if one of you guys could say hi so I can see that comments are working, I would really appreciate it. There we go. Hey, Meg. Super happy to see you, Meg. Okay. I was going to go with just a simple skin tone color, but I think I might add a little bit of some BG in there just to give it a little bit of glow since she is kind of under the ocean. So bear with me. I've never done that before, but we're going to try it anyway because why not? Yes. We do too, Diana. We already lost the electricity once. So if the video cuts out, I promise I'll come right back. I can still post based on my phone service. So I will let you guys know what's going on. But yeah, it is storming here too. And has been for about an hour. So I'm hoping the worst is over and we won't have any issues. But we'll see. So I'm not going to use a really dark color for skin. So the darkest I'm going to go is E13. Normally I do E04 or RV95, but we're not going to go that dark because she is under the ocean, probably doesn't get a lot of sun. And so we're going to use these. This will be the underpainting color that we'll wet the paper with. Then we'll use these three colors. Plus, I'm going to try to mix in some BG just to change it up a bit. I don't know how that's going to look, but we'll test it, swatch it first, and then we'll go from there. Yes, Beth, for sure. That we are all praying for them in Texas, and the rain just keeps coming. So this is my E13. This is my E11. And then this is my E00. So I really like this combination let's see what happens if we start mixing BG 11 with that. So I'm trying to decide if I want to kind of overpaint some of the, see the darker color, it's going to kind of wash it out. So I don't technically want to do that. I think maybe I'm going to have to go with the BG 10. This is not going to work out the way that I want it to. So let's try and move to, I can just tell, like if I hold this up close, hi Linda, if I hold this up close, look at how that light color moved all of my E13 around. It caused it to look a bit splotchy, and I don't want to do that to the skin tone, so we are not going to add that to the darkest color. So I'm thinking maybe what I will do is let's just underpaint with one of these instead of E000 and see what happens. I mean, who knows? We could end up with something super cool or something super crazy. Since we're going to try it for the first time, let's try it with the BG 10 instead of the 11. So it'll be light, but at least we won't totally jack up the image. But if we do, I have 4 more printed out. So we're just gonna roll with it and see how it goes.
Am I out of the way?
Yes, you're fine.
Okay. Oh, I guess I have to get on here.
So y'all, we have company in Doux headquarters tonight. Linda Ruprecht is here. My mamacita.
Hi.
See? So we are leaving town, hoping it's going to stop raining. Early in the morning for Colorado for a wedding we have to go to. Well, I say that like we have to go. We don't have to go. We want to go to a wedding. It's my godson. And so I really want to be there. So we're driving up there, but we're not going to be gone for very long. Although the wedding is on Thursday, so I will not have a live on Thursday because I will be at the wedding. And then I will be back over the weekend and raring to go on Tuesday. So that is the story, and that is why she is hanging out in the craft room.
Watching you on your big...
And she's watching me on the iPad and on the big TV. So, okay, so now we have her. This is kind of cool. I wonder what it's going to look like when I put skin tone over it. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. Okay, let's zoom in a bit more so you guys can see it a little better. You see that tone she has on her? And I kind of had like a little something on my paper that left a little mark. So I don't think you can really tell, and you probably won't be able to once we get the color in there. So I'm not really going to worry about that. This is E13. Yeah, it's just me and Mom going. Everyone is calling you now. I hate when that happens, don't you? Right when you sit down to do something.
I didn't even have to order that.
Oh, that's good. E13 is going to be my shadow color. So I'm just going to do it just like I normally would if there wasn't blue on the base coat. So it looks like this E13 kind of covers it up completely. So the lighter colors won't, though, I'm sure. So we'll just have to see what happens. This is an experimental evening. I'm just going to play around and see what happens. Thursday is Lego Day at the library. Now, how cool is that? My daughter would be so happy. She loves Legos. She'd probably say every day is Lego Day for her. All right, so I'm adding some of this on her shoulders. She almost looks like coffee or something. I don't know, it's weird. But it'll be okay. I feel confident That's always half the struggle, right? I have tried mixing colors like this once before, not these exact colors, and it turned out okay. I wasn't a huge fan, so I thought I'd go a little bit lighter today and see how it goes. But why not do something different? I really like this little mermaid. We might have to give her some cool colored hair too. Because why not? So we can do whatever we want. All right, so next we have E11. There we go, we're gonna blend that in. Now I'm starting to be able to see that blue through this color, so that's a good thing. I kind of like her having just a little bit of a ocean color. I think it'll look really good when it's added to the background paper because it'll match that so well. We're not really going to worry about that little earring in her ear because I probably won't notice it when we put her in the shaker card, but if we do, I have very small little stones that we could use to give her earrings. So, not really all that worried about that part. She's kind of cool looking. I'm really liking that. I hope it turns out right. Now I'm starting to think, okay, y'all, I must be hungry or something or have a sweet tooth tonight because now I'm thinking caramel and mint. Like, doesn't she look like a caramel and mint something? Oh, we could use this on cupcakes. It would be so good. This color combination would be great for caramel and mint cupcakes. Hey, your mind always working when you're looking at stuff like this. Now, she needs some cheek colors, too. So, we got to pull out I'll do R11. It's still really light. And I'm just going to throw a little bit in here right now before we do the next step. It usually blends in a lot with her skin, so it doesn't really matter how much you put it on there because this color is really, really light. It's not like the R20, R21. It just puts rosy cheeks. It looks like I put a lot more than that, but that's because if you don't, it just kind of fades completely out and you can't see it at all. So you might as well add a little extra. See? It looks good. But yeah, yum. This makes me think yum for sure. Now, I'm thinking that this skin tone now, while it's cool because it has that blue tone to it, it's really, really light and I don't really feel like it feels like it kind of fell flat. So once we get this in, we're going to try and add some more colors to kind of bring it back to some dimension. So this is what I do when I'm not on camera normally. If I'm trying new colors, is I'll test them out with a lighter version. If I like it, I'll leave it. If I'm not altogether happy with it, I'll start adding colors to it to get to a place I like. Only one time have I ever gone so far that you could no longer see any of the expression on her face at all. And then that's the only time I threw it away. So my husband went on a Jeep ride and he can't hear my comments. I'm planning on making my checkbook cry. Could you please show me the difference between the Copics you messaged me about? Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this will be great for everybody to learn. So there are two types of Copics. I have Sketch, that's what this one is, Copic sketch. And the other one is a Copic Chow. So Copic Chow. Same ink, same nibs. This one has the same kind of nib, brush nib on one end, chisel on the other, exactly the same as mine. The replacement nibs are exactly the same for both markers. The difference is this one is oval and has the numbers on the caps, and it holds more ink. This one, rounded, no number on the cap, but I know that some people have some out there that you can print as stickers and put them on there. Also, they kind of roll off your desk, and the oval do not. So that's it. That's the only differences. There's not a lot. It's the same ink, same nib, same everything. This one is more expensive. This one is cheaper. Both are refillable, nibs replaceable, everything's the same. So, yeah. So I went and picked up a bunch of these. Not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. But if you need some, let me know. I'm not going to sell them in the shop, but they were very cheap. So I picked them up. I always bring them home, weigh them, make sure everything is good on them. I would never sell it to you if it wasn't good. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. We're going to add just a little bit more of this E13. Yeah, there are also a couple of other Copics. There's not just two. There's also and I don't reference these very often, so I'm not really sure what the technical term for them is. Do you know, honey? The wide? Yeah, I just think that's just what they're called, wide, and they're really fat. They're fat but flat. They're big, long ovals, and you use them for like huge backgrounds, and architecture people use them a lot, or comic people who have to do backgrounds on repeatedly over and over and over again. So, and those don't even come in very many colors. You want the ones I'm using that holds more ink. Okay. Yeah. And there are square ones too. That's right, Diana. There are square ones as well. These have 358 colors. These only have 180 colors. So if you were trying to go the cheap route, you'd do 180 of these and make up whatever else you want with these. But if you're going to use them all the time and you're going to keep up with the maintenance on them, I recommend this one. But there is nothing wrong with the Chow. I tend to close my lids really fast, and so I tend to cram that nib right up in there, lid, and mess it up a lot more than I do with these. Plus, I have this thing called full set syndrome. I wanted the full set, and Chow didn't come in it, and then I wanted them all to look the same. It's just a weird thing about me. So that is why I went with those. But there's nothing wrong with the other ones. If you're just going to color every now and then, I'd recommend the Chow. If you're not going to use them that much. But I mean, I use mine almost every day. So I need way more. I think the squares... Wait, hold on. I think I have one of them. Okay, hold on. Hidden in my little drawer over here. I think I might have one of those. I mean, I know I have one. I just don't know where it is, but let me just look at you. Ouch. I must have put them somewhere else, but I thought they were in here. Oh, here it is. Yep. They look like this. And I'm pretty sure there's only like 70 something or 80 of these. They do have the number on the ends. They look like this. They're just called Copic, just plain Copic. But they have a bullet nib. They don't have the brush, the paintbrush nib. They have a chisel and a bullet. This one. But same ink in these. See, if you had any of them, you can refill them all with the same refill inks. This is the E04, so it works the same. It's just that I'm so used to the other brush. I don't like this tiny, I don't like these kind of nib brushes. I don't feel like I have as much control as I do with the other ones. Thank you for, you have that syndrome too, Diana. But I do, so definitely let's talk, Beth, because I have a bunch of these duplicates that Dale was going to keep, but now he's decided he wants to go a different route. So you have first dibs because we were chatting about that already. All right, so I'm just blending out this darkest color I put on there just a little bit, but while it's wet, I'm going to come back in with that that blue color. I'm going to try a little bit more, but this time I think I'm going to use the BG 11. It's going to be a little bit darker, but I kind of want her to look a little more blue. Is that weird that I want her to look blue? I don't know why. Probably could have tested this out on one of the other sheets that I hadn't cut out yet, but oh well. It is what it is. I mean, you can literally make any of these any colors you want. I mean, we could have made her pink. You could be pink. You could be red. You could be yellow. It could be anything you want. All right, so E11, we need a little bit over here, along the bottom, maybe right here. And then we're gonna go in with that blue again. I know, she looks freaky weird. And that yellow behind her that looks like mustard isn't helping at all. But I'm visualizing without the yellow. All right, now in this center part, I'm not even going to come in with the E00 again. This time I'm going to use the BG10 to blend out with. She'll look cool in blue. She's about to be blue, that's for sure. Or she's about to be very blue. So in the end, I ended up swapping and making her more blue than skin tone color. I just like it. I don't know why. I like that you can do whatever you want with mermaids. Any color works. I like to color mermaids that have like those fishy type fin ears, because then when you color them this color, they really look like fish that, you know, breathe like that and hang out in the ocean, even though they all do. Look at that. It's super cool. You think she's beautiful? I like her. I think she's cool too. And she has enough of shadow in there. I think that looks really neat. I'm going to take her off of this board for a moment because that yellow makes her look sick. Look.
I'm sorry.
Are you laughing? Because you think she looks sick?
No, because you said that.
Oh, because I said she looks sick on the yellow. Okay. I think she looks cool, but I think we're going to see the real effect when we're done with everything. All right, these are the colors that we're going to use on the card. Let's look at them when we decide. I'm thinking that we're going to go in a pink, over in the pink world. So, look at how cool she looks with this. That's awesome. All right. So, she needs to have a little bit of pinkish color added to her, I think. But maybe not all pink. I kind of want to go, you know what? I kind of want to stick with that same BG color. So you know what we're going to do is we're going to take, every time I pick out a color, it's going to be a BG color. Are you guys ready for that? Let's stick with some BG tones and kind of do her all in the same BG. So I'm choosing a few of the BG color families. And I'm going to choose them all because there are, some look green, some look blue. So it's going to be great. Okay, I'm not going to use, there's a few of them I'm not going to use, but we are going to roll with these. Let's see how much stuff we can get colored in blue. Woohoo! All right. I really have to move this around because that yellow stuff is making me, it's bothering me. I can't help it. Okay, there we go. Much better now. Much better now. I mean, that glow over her head was driving me crazy. Okay, so here's what I pulled out. I have BG 18, 13, 11, and 10. 11 and 10 include the skin color that we used. So we'll definitely use that on something. I have BG 09, 07, and 05. And look at how much different those colors look. And then I have BG 99, 96, and 93. And look, those go all the way into the green tones. And then I also pulled out BG 78, 75, 72, and 70. And then 2 extras just to add another color tone. So BG 34 and 32. All right, so we're going to play with those. So we're going to start with hair. And I really want the hair to be dark. So what I want you to tell me is, do you want me to go more green or more blue for the hair? I'm going to take a drink while I wait. First person who responds, that's what I'm doing. It reminds you of the mermaids from Harry Potter. I remember them. Blue, green, blue, green, blue, green. Ha ha! Oh, we have 1 blue, 1 green. Now, how hard is that? No, she said she loved it before that happened, so green is the way we're going. Here we go. Oh, she did want blue. All right. Here we go. We're going to go green in the hair. Then we go blue in the body. So here we go, starting with BG 99. And you guys, really, I'm gonna just skip around these colors. Like, if I don't like the tone it's going, I'm gonna be just picking up other ones. So hang in there with me. BG 99 is what we're gonna start with. So this is almost gonna look like seaweed. We probably should have made her body this color instead of her hair. She's gonna look like she has a head full of seaweed. No, I'm just kidding. I promise I won't do that to her. She's so pretty, I don't want to do that to her. But see, that's the cool part about digital files. You can reprint them as many times as you want. So you technically don't have to worry about that. Hey, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. I am good. I am good. I got my tasks done that had to be done today before I leave town, so I am super stoked about that. I had a list of jobs and tasks I had to do for the business before I left, and I finished them. Yay! I just did that one and added to scrapbook for my grandbaby Olivia. Oh, yay! Look at you go. I'm sure you've seen me color her before. But so we're mixing it up tonight with some strange and unusual colors. But that's how I'm feeling tonight, so it works out great. Strange and unusual. Do you laugh at me when you're at home too, Mom? Mm-hmm. Okay, just checking.
Yes.
I'm glad to know that I'm entertaining you guys. Because I say all that stuff and then I'm like, man, I hope they think that's funny. I hope they're enjoying the live. So I'm following the artist drawn lines right now. I'm not doing anything fancy at this point. I'm just choosing a few places I want to look like it's darker or more shadow in that area. That's what I'm doing first. We'll get into any other fancy stuff in a little bit. Now her hair's really long, so this stuff that's up underneath her arm between her body is hair. But pay attention because this line right here is where her hair stops. So don't just color in all that stuff. I mean, nobody would probably notice it, so you'd be okay, but it wasn't intended to be hair. You love stamping your scrapbook pages. I moved away from scrapbooking before I started stamping, so I never really stamped in my scrapbook, although I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to pick up my scrapbooking at some point soon, since I have a grandson that's 7, a son that's getting married. I kind of have a lot of things I could be scrapbooking right now, but we'll see. And Mom is texting. You can hear it go, whoop. Well, at least it sounds like it quit raining. That's a good thing. I just want it to get out of its system before we drive on our 12-hour trip tomorrow. At least I don't have to drive by myself. I have company this time.
Yep.
I'm very happy about that. Okay, so now we have some green in there. I feel like she's missing just a little bit of depth right in here. And all I did was just step back for a second and look at what I had on there. And it looked like I had a whole lot of light going on over here. So what I'm going to do is this one that dips down right here, just going to add a little bit of depth to that. A little bit of shadow. And then I think that actually evens it out a lot better. So just take a step back when you're doing it and check it out. See where you think you might need a little bit more color and then go for it. Let's test out. I want to see if I add, after this next color, this is the BG 96. I wonder if I pull in these extra colors that I pulled out, like BG 34, if it would go with this. Ooh, that's going to be a really nice blend. Let's do that. Let's add some brightness to that green hair. She's going to have highlights too. Where are we going? We're going to Colorado. Pretty close to Denver. It's raining here right now, Meg. It's been raining for a little while. I'm hoping that it all passes by and I don't have to drive through it. That is the only thing I do not like to do, is drive in the rain. I do not like to drive in the rain. I do not like it. Same I am. I do not like it. Anytime. I mean, I'm one of those that if it's raining too hard, I will pull over and sleep until it stops. When you and Linda drive by New Virginia, Iowa, wave. All right. Yeah, we're going to Colorado for a wedding. See, so when I was little, my cousin, she lived with us for a bit. And so we became really, really close. And I'm her son's godmother. And he's the one that's getting married. So we get to see her. We get to stay with her, and we get to see my godson get married to his high school sweetheart. Although he's, been out of high school for a while now. He's Air Force. He's in the Air Force station where my son was before he got out. So yeah, they're both in the same type of field, so they got to hang out, which was really cool. since my cousin and I were so close, and then my son and her son. It's pretty neat. But our men can't go, so it's just a girls' trip. Yeah. And I will definitely wave, and yes, I will definitely be very careful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after all, I'll have Mom in the car. I gotta take care of her.
There's a very slim chance I might do it live on Thursday. Slim.
Okay.
If I can do that.
I've been trying to talk Dale into doing my live on Thursday. At first it was nope, not gonna happen. And now he's in there's a slight chance I might do it. So, stay tuned and pay attention to the website. So if he goes live on Thursday at my time, you guys don't miss it. So,
I have a background idea I want to work out tomorrow.
he said, I can't do your live. I can't color. And I said, there are so many things you could do that don't have to do with coloring. You could create a card without coloring. And so I think his brain's been pondering it. Meg says, yes, Dale, do it. Fort Collins, Colorado. Is that anywhere near?
No, it's not. It's east of.
Well, my hubby knows where that is. But no, we're going to be in the Littleton, Denver area. We tried to do the whole, when you have a best friend and you try to talk your husbands into moving to the same state so that you can hang out with your best friend more. And she worked on her husband and I worked on mine, and neither of us could get them to agree. She couldn't get hers to agree to come here, and I couldn't get mine to agree to go there. And so we have not been able to make that happen. But let me tell you, we gave it one heck of a try. But we do say, we always say when we get really old and we're going to be old and sitting on the porch, no teeth, drinking tea, we're going to be in the same place. That's what we always say.
We'd be in the same cemetery.
Two young girls were just found 27
Hey.
feet up
I turned it off. I didn't know it was up. I'm
That's
sorry.
all right. It's okay. See, Dale, you could run them through the new stuff.
But you've already been through it.
Well, they want to see it again. She says her husband can't see her texting. Her wallet's going to take a hit. BG 34. Hey, we have new stuff coming too. I don't have the ETA on arrival from the stamp company yet, but we're going to have new products in the shop. We'll have a new release stamp set. We'll have, or maybe more. And we'll have some other items coming, and we're super excited about it. So stay tuned. It will either be around the 19th or the following weekend, just depending on how fast they can, the UPS office can get my stamps to me.
Actually, my idea ties into this.
What I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Oh, see? Great minds think alike. That's good. I like to kind of keep a theme for 1 week. And I was really tempted to do some Sassy Club for you guys today. Look at how beautiful this BG 34 mixes with that BG 99 and 96. I got some new Sassy Club images, and let me tell you, there are some cool things in there. Here we go. I'm just extending from where I put those dark other green colors, just to start getting this color in there a little bit.
What did you say?
Man, I like this here.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go now. Yep. This is kind of fun. This is like a party time. Because there's so many people in the room with me. I'm not sitting here talking to myself. Well, I'm not talking to myself anyway because I have all you guys here. But usually by myself. Mom and I are watching crime movies. We're funny because we comment a lot. We're sitting here going, whatever. We don't believe her. She's lying. But we won't be watching too much because we got to get to bed early. You changed your mind. You like the green better? I just purchased the Sassy Club Dragons. How to Train You. They arrived, Meg. I have them. You like my images? I know. I like them too. I like them all. I almost did baby dragons tonight and then I changed my mind. I modified them a little from the original release that they were. Changed them up just a teeny bit. Not enough that it would be a big difference for you, Cheryl, since you already have them. But just a few little minor changes that made me happier. But then I decided, Mom, I said, it's raining outside. And Mom said, do the mermaid. So there we go. I'm doing the mermaid. Let's do a little bit more right here. I feel like there's just a little bit too much white right there. And there might not be enough green right there, but we'll see. If we have to add, we can. There we go. I do like these colors together. They're getting better and better. You need them? I'm telling you, they're awesome. If you want to see them, I can show them to you. They're really cool. I like that she did the dragons with just a little bit of the inside filled in, but not a lot of detail, because then I can change it to whatever I want. You know what? I started this with BG32 and I just had an epiphany, and we're going to switch to a different color because I want to add another tone into her hair, because won't that be cool to have a whole different color in there now? Let's see if we add like this blue color to it. I think that will look really cool too. And it matches, so let's do it. BG05 now. This is holiday blue. So I'm going to add a little bit in where it's already colored, and then a little bit to the white areas.
Jana said hi to you.
Hi, Jana. Super happy to see you here. I posted a new speed coloring video today on Instagram. It hasn't posted yet on YouTube, but it will soon. It's also on TikTok. If you guys want to check that out, you can. I'm not going to have time to do a bunch of them before I go, so I only have a couple on backup. I need to make some more. Ooh, this is pretty. I think we need a bit more of that green next to finish it out, though. We'll come back to that BG32 once we have a little bit of this blue in here. I like this. This is almost like rainbow, but with all blue. The variety of colors, awesome. This is really what I call a winging it night, where you just kind of make up stuff as you go along and hope it works out. I call that winging it. There we go. And we don't want to do too much. We don't want to make it look muddy, but it is going to look really beautiful on that background, I think. That background that we have. And I think I want this curl. See how I saved it for one color? I want it to be just this color. I saved it right out there in the front. think we'll put the green one on this side. So she has two different ones. I'm really eyeballing this. I'm not really picking a specific place. That's why I'm not really saying anything in the directions as far as why I'm choosing to do the colors and where. I'm just trying to even out and add a little bit of this color in with the rest. So I'm kind of just eyeballing it. It's one of those, just play around and pick whatever color you want and mix them up. So now the last color I'm going to use is going to be this BG 32 to bring that minty color back in. And we're just going to very lightly touch it and put an overlay of that color all over it, but not that little blue one. I'm not going to touch that one. But I am going to fill in all of the rest of the white areas, but I am barely touching. I don't want to put a whole lot of ink on this. I want to keep it really nice and light in some areas. We're having Harry Potter Day at the library, so I'm wanting this for the tween program. Oh, that's awesome. I bet they love that. I love that you do all of those activities. That sounds like so much fun. She's in digital, so she's inexpensive. And she actually, her set comes with 2 different jellyfish. One is a simple jellyfish. You get it with and without a little happy face on it. And then the other one is a more detailed jellyfish like you would actually see in the ocean. I'm going to put a little bit heavier right here over this green just to lighten it up a tad bit because it looked a little bit too green. Yeah, and I just called it Mermaid and Jellyfish, so pretty easy to find, Mermaid and Jellyfish. And again, you get the white fill versions left and right. Like I made a version of her facing the left and facing the right, so you don't have to worry about like switching her around or anything. Just roll with it. Print out the one that you want. It's super easy, and if you need help, let me know. I'm just going to fix this one little spot where I went outside the lines. That's the little cheat that you do so nobody knows that you went outside the lines. Hey, Dale, could you get me another soda, please? I am very thirsty tonight. All right. Now it's time to pick the color for her outfit. And you like her hair. I think I'm going to do, her body like her hair. And then this will all be different than that. So we'll stick with those colors for the body. So I believe we did BG 99, 96. This is where you have to remember everything. 34, 05, and then we did 32. Okay. Whew, I remembered. All right. Now, let's do her scales since we already have these colors picked out. There we go. All right. Now, we're not going to do it exactly like her hair. It's going to be the same colors, but we're going to try to make it look just a little bit different. So, let's start with the darkest color being underneath this skirt area that she has. Now, we're going to make this a see-through skirt. So, for now, we're just putting where the shadow would be if it was over top of her. But we'll make her skirt see-through when we get done. Thank you, hon. Okay, now there are so many different ways you can do a mermaid. You have to choose what works for you. You could follow these lines and just put these little scales where I put them when I drew them. Or you could continue to make them all throughout there And it really is just V's. You just do them like this. So one here, one down a little bit, up, down a little bit, up, down a little, and you just keep repeating that. And then you just do it like in between. So see how this is in between the two V's? That's where your next one would start. And you just keep drawing those V's all over the place. Or you could stipple it all over everywhere, or you can make it a smooth scale. So tonight I'm going to actually, I normally do this kind of scale. You could also do this kind of scale. You know, the ones that you see, you just connect them like this, each over top of each one. So then I have to do one more so you can see. Then the next ones will go like this, you know, and so forth. And you'll keep going till you have all your scales filled in. This is normally what I do. This is the shortcut. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to just do like stipling around these areas. My problem is I want to do it in just a little bit of an area, but what I tend to do is put it all over the place, and then it's so saturated with these little stipling that it loses what I originally intended for it to be. So I don't do it that often because I can't help myself. Did you guys hear that thunder? It was trying to interrupt me while I was talking. I'm going to bring from here all the way up to that one. Just kind of fill that in. And then we're just going to put a little bit right here in this area. Stay down. Kind of just covering up where I put those little scales, making them look a little bit different. And then I like to put just a little bit up in here. There we go. So now we just have a little bit of that going on, and we have some shadow here, and I'll probably put a little bit of this in this area right here. It's kind of dipped in just to get me a little bit of shadow. And that's going to be my start. This is BG 96, the second color I used for her hair. And I'm going to start off by filling some of the more of this in here. And I'm not going to put too much. I'm going to use even less than I did on the other one because this is still dark and looks a lot like the other one. I thought that was going to crack a really loud boom, and it didn't. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this one because I want to do a little bit more when we change the color to the other colors we're going to use. But I'm also going to extend out a little bit from where we put the shadow. And then the same thing here. Just a little bit further. This is not going to be even at all around here, and I'm okay with that. A little bit up here in the tip of the tail. And there we go. All right, now what we did was we switched at this point to BG 34 when we were doing her hair. But I think what I'm gonna do is go to BG 05 first. This is not the way we did her hair, but that's okay. We can do whatever we want. And now I'm gonna start putting this color in there with that color because I feel like that really is gonna make it beautiful. We are really making her all with these very same colors. Kind of like a monotone. I think that's what they call that. This is when you know you're brave enough to try this when you've never tried it before in your life. You know you got some guts going on there. I have to be able to think fast on your feet. Starting to extend out just a little bit further. See how we're starting to bring all the pieces together? Really important. A little bit more on the end of that tail. Just deepen that up just a little bit. And now with a really fine line, I'm going to go along the edge right there. Just, this is the around the outside we talk about a lot. Just to get that border in there. Probably would be better if this mermaid would stay down. Oh, thanks, Meg. Because I really am just throwing out some colors at this point. I figured it'd be fun to try this. Just mix it up a bit. This is, now we're going to go to the BG 34. And for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to go into her skirt, like right into her skirt, because what we're doing is building where that body would be if you could see it. I just want you to just draw it in there just like that. I mean, we're using a lighter color and we're just getting the guideline to where that body would be. We need that so we can remember where it's going to be when we get ready to color our image. So I'm just going to leave that, and then we're going to start working down here again. So we're going to start filling in a whole lot more of this down here. We want you to be able to see that green color, so we're going to keep going until we can at least see a bit of that green color in there. And we're going to do the same thing up here. Now I'm going to start making some tiny dots in here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see them when I get done, but we're going to do it anyway. Just little dots. And then I'm going to work on this. Blend this out just a little bit. This is where I didn't have any of those dots, so I'm okay with blending the color in there. Ooh, so pretty. Flying by the seat of your pants. This is why I love you. Thank you. Yes, I do that a lot. In fact, tonight we were laughing because my mom was like, it's only 30 minutes till you're live. And I said, yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know.
True.
And I said, this is how it goes. A lot of the times, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just decide like 30 minutes. But I mean, I think about it a lot before time comes, but I don't make those final decisions until right before. I know it's kind of crazy. This is BG 32. This is the last color that we used on her hair, but look, even though it looks like her hair, it still looks so much different. And we used less of the darker colors and overlaid them with these lighter green colors to give us a little bit of a different look. So now I'm going to fill these in. Like, and I want to do it with these dots because I don't want it to look smooth. It almost looks like a, kind of like a marbly look, I guess. So you could do this with dragons too. This kind of pattern with dragons. Isn't that cool? I really love it. I'm liking it. I like this for sure. This is definitely a good part. And then I'm going to do just a little bit here to kind of meet up that transition where I had like this solid and this splotchy. I want to just blend that out so that it meets up and all makes sense. I'm going to put a couple more dots in here just to have some light, some dark. It'll help with that, that patterned look. It looks like scales. That is the intent. That's what I was hoping for. I agree. It does look pretty cool. I like it. All right. That was the same colors that we used on her hair. And now we're going to switch it up a bit. So for this part right here that we're going to color, we're going to make that more blue than green. So I am going to switch to just using the BG 09, 07, and 05. So this is all going to be more of the blue side of things. And if I like it a whole lot, I'm going to do the same thing with the tail. And if I don't, then we'll do something different. BG 09. So I'm going to start by working right up close to these little pearls. And by the way, it doesn't matter if we get anything on those pearls because we're going to use the white gel pen to actually make those pearls pop. So I am not worried about it. If I go over the line, it's going to be totally fine. So I'm really working the artist lines up close to that little pearl area around her waist. Now, this one goes over that one right here. So the truth of the matter is, if you would have been with me when I drew them, I first drew her skirt very small, like right here, like this. And then I decided, no, I really want a bigger one, so I added some to the back. So I know that this one is on top of that one. And now you do too. So these little areas where they layer up, I'm just going to get a little bit of depth up in close there. And same thing on this side. This one right here lays over this one. So that helps us with those. And then we have this one in the back. And right here, see how this one folds over on top of that one? And then we're just going to start filling in where the artist lines are, showing folds and dents and like this, here, and then here and here, just to get all those lines in there. It'll just help add a little bit. This one kind of folds over like that, and then it folds again over this one. So you want to do both of those. This one goes over top of that one, and so forth. All right, so that gets us some really dark color. Again, it looks a lot like all the other colors, but once we start moving on with this BG 07, it's going to bring the blue out quite a bit. Now, we put those lines in there, but at this point, you can still see those green lines I put in that were right here. So we're going to work on everything that's outside of that, and we're going to leave that alone for right now. So here we go. And there's a reason we're doing that. I'll explain that, and you'll see it come to life here in just a minute. Which is why I used that green. Was a good idea to use right there so I can stay away from that area. I'm going to skip it and go over to here. I'm also going to put a line around that green. Just kind of building that area in front and behind. Underneath here, bringing this out. And we're going to work on this one in the back. It's way in the back and it's under her hair, so I'm not really worried about it getting a whole lot of light highlight. It's way in the back. I think I'll do a little bit down here and a little bit on this one. All right, so now it's time to work on the next one, which is going to be BG05. I also will have to pull BG02, 1, and 1. So we're just adding 2 more lighter colors of this BG. BG05. We're still going to leave a teeny spot for highlights, but for the most part, all of the stuff that's on either side of that green is going to be filled in with this color. And I know it seems crazy because we haven't done anything with that part yet, but we will. And this is going to get a lot lighter and way more blue. Making sure everything around the outside is finished now. And when I say everything, I'm going to do that center part as well here in just a minute. So this part right here, we're just going to do around the outside edges with this color. I'm also going to put just a teeny bit right up here close to her body. Now we're going to come in with the lighter color. So this is what's going to allow you to see that underneath side. And we'll probably have to build in a little bit more of that here in a minute. But no worries, that was just our guide to tell us where it was. We're softening up these little edges. We'll probably be using the colorless blender to wash some of this out so that it appears to be see-through. So anything that's left on these edges needs to be colored in now with this one. Even though we have one more color for the inside, everything on the outside needs to be finished off. Just like that. Now it's time to work on the last piece. So I'm switching to BG01. And we're going to color in here, but we're going to do it extremely light. Now, you remember when we used that BG32 for this part of her? We're going to come back in with that color right here and just paint down exactly where we put those lines when we started. So you're starting to see that body underneath. Now I'm going to step up one to BG34. I'm going to build this in just a little bit more. Just in the center part. So we put that color that's underneath and the color that's on top. You love it? Okay, now I'm going to use the colorless blender real quick, and I'm going to do just this area right here. You don't want to spend too much time on it. We want to lighten it, but we don't want to wash it out. So just going over it with a smooth stroke back and forth. and then wait and see how it looks. The ink is still moving on the paper because you're wetting it. I'm going to do it one more time. Kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is just kind of blending those two colors together. And then one more time with the BG 32. And this time I'm gonna go all the way past, just to make sure all that runs together the way I want it to. So now if you look really closely, you can kind of see where that skirt is, where her body is underneath the skirt. Now I'm gonna do the colorless blender around those edges, just to lighten those up again. Right here on the outside of the body. Don't do too much. You don't want to see it. You don't want it to jump out and slap you in the face. You just want it to lighten it up a bit. Now we're going to let all of that dry, and we're going to work on the next step. This is, I can really see it in person, but it's a little bit harder on camera. But you can see, it looks like this part is see-through right where her body is. So there's green here and only blue here. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. I like that, but I think we're going to go with her top in these colors. So this is the BG09 again, only we're not going to add any of that green. We're just going to stick with these blues again. And I am going to add this closest to the center and underneath some of those shells. Just a little bit. Most important is getting that dark in the center part where it all comes together. And when you feel brave, you can do it underneath each one of the little shells. But if you don't, just skip that part. It's okay. I heard that thunder. This is BG07. I'm going to do along these edges with this BG07. Right here, hopefully you can see that. Just along these edges on the outside. First, we're going to do that part. And then we're going to extend just a little bit from the center. And then I'm going to do just the bottom shell. That's it. There we go. All right, BG05. These were the original 3 blue colors we were going to work on with this outside of the skirt. So on the top, we're just going to start at the top and work our way down, adding these colors in there and making sure that everything blends nicely. It's perfect. It matches great with this down here. Very happy with that. Here we go. I won't lie, it is a lot easier to color something that you drew than it is to color something that someone else drew. Because you know exactly what the intents were. Okay, while we're at it, we're going to give her blue eyes too, and we might as well stick with the same blue because I kind of like it a lot. I'm going to put the darkest part at the very top on both sides of the pupil. It's a very small space, so just be very gentle when you touch the paper. And then we're going to use the 07 and extend a little bit further from there, coming down a little bit further. We're going to want these eyes to really pop. So we may have to play around with that a little bit. BG 05, we're going to blend that along the bottom. So pretty. It's so dark though. I'm going to grab the magic color, which is G00 that we generally use for eyes. And I'm just going to do a little bit of that back and forth right along this bottom part. It's really tiny area, so don't press too hard. You just want a light skim over the top of those eyes, or you'll have blue down her face. And that will lighten it up. In a minute, you'll start seeing it to really, you see it really shine. It's starting to look like real eyes. All right, last tail. Now, I haven't used these colors, so we are going to switch to these colors. We need BG 18, 13. And then we also have, I said BG 78 and 18. So we'll start with those. Those will be our darkest colors. Then we have 75 and 13. And if we need 72, we'll use it. But let's swatch it just to make sure our tail isn't going to look really wonky compared to the rest of the colors. So this is BG 78. Oh, it's going to be fine. This is BG 18. And I'm almost tempted to think that's darker. Yep, it is. So we'll start with BG 18. And then we'll move to BG 78. And then this is 75. And then this is 13. So we'll have those darker greenish colors, and then we'll come in with this really bright BG 13 to liven it up. If we were to take BG 72 after that, it's going to dull it down, and I'm not sure I really want to do that, but we'll see. Maybe. You never know. You never know what I might do tonight. Okay, starting with BG 18, we're going to work on her tail, and we're going to work on her wrists. We're going to do her little wrist bracelets in this color as well. So I'm just going to do the part that is closest to her inside of her body and the underside on that one. And then for the tail, I'm going to start right here in the center, and we're going to work our way out from there. So a little bit here and here. And then I'm not going to do every one of them. I'm going to skip. Like skip one or two. Just put a little bit of this color in there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So skip a couple. Maybe down to here. I need to have some depth in this part right here to show that her tail is folded over. Maybe here. And then maybe like that. All right, so that gets us a little bit of this BG 18 in there. And then we're going to move to BG 78. Now what I'm going to do is same thing. Start with this center piece right here. And then I'm going to go in between those areas that we just put the last color. Only I'm going to extend a little bit further than I did with the first color. So wherever I didn't put the last color, that's where this color goes. Right there, right there, right there. And then we are going to do a little bit in here because we want to keep that really dark right in there. Now I think for this one, we're also going to come in from the edge on a couple of these places where the artist drawn lines are. Just like that. We're going to keep her tip very, very light so we don't have to do that part yet. Okay, BG 75 is next. And this one is going to go all the way around. It's much darker still. We haven't done the light one yet. There we go, all the way around. Just a little bit in these areas. And then I'm going to do a little bit around the edges. Just all the way down. Kind of keeping that consistent pattern going. I mean, the artist already gave you the details. You just have to follow them. Right here, keeping that depth going. There we go. All right, BG 13 is next. This is the one that moves us to that little bit of a mint green color. I'm going to start at the bottom on this one, work my way up. Very light touch. I'm just going back and forth. This is going to add in that blue in the white areas. Ooh, I like this. Now it's blending pretty smoothly with the stuff that's in the center right here. But I want to work this part just a little bit more. Nice. Let's start from this end and work our way up. I kind of like this tail. So cute. All right, now we got to work this one right up here on the edge. There we go. Look at that. I think she needs just a tad bit more depth in there. We're going to go back in one more time with the BG 18 and deepen up a little bit of this. Not all of them, just some of them. Whichever ones seem to need to be darker to you. Just do whatever works for you. Right here. Just felt like it needed a little bit more than what we had on there already. When I got down to the bottom down here, I did all the lines on both sides. And I'm going to actually just leave that like that. I mean, I'll come in one time with this BG13 for just a few places that need to make sure we have a good transition like area, but we're not going to wash that color out. I want to leave that dark just the way it is. Gives it texture and makes everything stay super nice. I'm going to finish her little bracelets out with this last color. Awesome, so awesome. Isn't she pretty? And she looks like she has so many different colors, but she's still all used the same color family.
She looks great.
Let me hold her up close so you guys can see. And she blends so well. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Meg. Because we put that color in her skin tone as well. So she just flows all wonderfully in that very color. That's what happens when you use the BG World in case you were ever wondering, this is what we used on all of it. We just mixed all the BGs we could, except for this G was for her eyes only. And that, so these are your colors. Not too many colors for this beautiful girl. And skin tone, of course. We had some skin tone colors in there. But other than that, and then look at how magical she matches with all the rest of this stuff we have to make the card. It's pretty good, huh?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, I work really hard to know those colors of my Stampin' Up stuff. I had some scraps here. We may use those as well. And we may use this hello, but I'm not sure if it'll be big enough, so we'll see. I want it to be a shaker card, so what I did was I really wanted a mat on there, so I cut it to the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. Okay, so this is the regular card, and then I cut this 1/4 of an inch smaller than that, so it's gonna essentially sit here. And then this one is 1/4 of an inch smaller than that. I think I wanted it this way. Did I want her in the light or the dark? I think I wanted her in the dark side. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me see. Do we want her on the light side or the dark side? Is she in the dark side or the light side? I think I wanted her on the light side. It's almost like she's in a cave, sort of. Just like this. Okay, so now that I know that's what the sizes are, we're going to make this into a shaker card. So when I do that, I need to make sure that it glues it down like really secure. So I'm going to use my Fairly Art glue. And I try to keep it as close to the edges as I can, but only when I'm doing a shaker card. Just because I don't want it to lift up at all and any of the shaker bits to like go up underneath the paper. I mean, these aren't tiny shaker bits, so it should be okay. Right here I have a little bit of glue, but that's okay because it dries clear and invisible and all that good stuff. This is where the great soda press comes in. Spreads the glue out, gives it a good adhesion. I do this all the time, every time I glue something down. It is so helpful, and it keeps me from moving the paper around because the glue isn't dry yet. So sometimes, you know. Good night, Beth. Thank you. Safe travels. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
These are the acetate sheets from Trinity Stamps. We're still working on our own version of that. I had it sitting out here. I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, we are working on making our own of these type of things. But for now, I'm using the ones from Trinity Stamps. There is a plastic coating on it. Good night. Good night, everyone who's going. We're almost done. They're like, I know how to make a shaker card. Okay, there. See, when the plastic comes off, then it's very clear. Love it. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to put my tape on the paper and not on that plastic thing. Uh-oh, Mom, move your drink. It's going to fall over when I spin the thing. I'm going to use, this is the only time I use this double-sided sticky tape. Otherwise, I just use Barely Art glue for everything. Oh, did you find some more? They go in that right back there for me. Thank you. Okay. Let me just get this tape down. It won't take too long. I promise. we go. Oh, that thunder. It makes me want to sing that song. Thunder. Lightning. I really like that song. And we're going to put one on the top, one on the bottom. But we're not going to peel these off just yet, because we still have to put our mermaid on there. And then once we get our mermaid on there, then we got to put 3 sides on and then work on our shaker bits, and then we will be almost finished. I may leave the sentiment off of this. I haven't decided on the sentiment yet because I don't have a specific use for this card just yet. So this may be as far as we're going, but there we go. Now, I want my mermaid to stick down. Now, sometimes I put them on the outside of the card, but for this one, I really want her on the inside so she can be swimming around with all this fancy jewelry stuff that's going around. Once I glue her down, we'll do her necklace and stuff with the white gel pen, because I want you guys to see how much that pops. But I also don't want to rub it off when I stick her down, so we're going to stick her down first. And I think I want her up here because I'm going to add a lot of shaker bits, because I love a lot of shaker bits in my stuff. Flip her over. I'm going to rub this really good. She'll need a few seconds to dry, so we'll work on the rest of the stuff while she dries. But if you use your white gel pen and you just go into these little circles, and I wouldn't just draw a line, I would actually do the little circles. It's like this ink is almost like a puff paint. It isn't, but it's almost gives that impression, which I love. And it makes it pop, like it really stands out. I'll hold it up close here in a minute, but we got to do her necklace. But it's way easier than it looks. So you'll notice I barely touch it. And then if it didn't put enough of the white gel on the first touch, then I touch it again. But I do not, I'm not touching the paper strongly. It's just a very light touch. And while we're at it, we might as well do her eyes too. All right, now when I put this lid on, I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. Oh, we should do the one in her ear too. We did talk about that, remember? Oh, this ink is almost empty. But I want to use every single bit of it. Here we go. Now when I hold her up, you can see it. Look at how the pearls really stand out with that white gel pen. I love that. I really love that. Okay, I'm going to take it off camera and wave it a bit so it dries. And then this is our shaker bits, and they match our girl. I'm not going to slide her around. I'm just going to turn her upside down. Oh, you need to put this down first. Okay, it did not mess it up. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to lay this inside of here. And what I'm going to do first is fold all these edges around before I go gluing anything down. Make sure I didn't cut the paper wrong, or it's too big or too small or whatever. I want to make sure it fits around it snug before I actually stick it. So I think that's going to be great. It looks like it fits perfectly. Then I'll take this one off, because this is where we're going to fill our shaker bits. Perfect. And then we're going to peel off these sides right here. And then we're just going to press these down. I like to do across from each other before I do the bottom part in case I need to shift it around a little bit just to make sure it fits in there perfectly the way I want it to. So I'll always do the sides first and then I'll do the bottom. And then the top is last because that's where we're going to end up adding the shaker bits. I saw some YouTube video that said put the tape on the paper instead of trying to put it on the acetate. And I'm telling you, that was a game changer for me for sure. Okay, now we're going to take these shaker bits, which are called Ocean Mist. I mixed them myself. I picked the pieces, put it together, made the mixture. There's still some available in the shop. I like lots of shakers, so I wanted to make sure I used quite a bit on this one because look at how cute that is. Yay! If we want to put a sentiment, no worries. We can put the sentiment on top. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and peel this off and close my shaker pouch. Sometimes I think I just want to make shaker pouches, even if they don't go with a card, just because I like making shaker pouches.
Did you use theirs? The one I had?
I did not use the one you had because
I had it right here.
no, I know you did, and I had it. We'll talk about that when I get off. I tested it. I played with it. I like it. It's just that I already had something in it, so I couldn't use it. Anyway, this is the card base, so we'll just go ahead and set that up real quick because all we have to do is add it. I know, isn't it fun?
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. They look so much different in real life than they do on the camera. I mean, not so much, but a little bit. All right, there we go. So we're just going to add this to the card base. I cut it a little bit smaller so you get that beautiful, awesome border. So pretty. And I like a lot of shaker bits in mine. If you hold it down, it definitely doesn't cover up much, just a teeny bit of her tail. She's pretty, huh? I really like her. So for the back here, you should probably put a little bit more of that double-sided sticky tape just because this is thick and it's kind of bubbled out a little, so it'll hold it. Because it's plastic, it'll hold it a little bit better. So I'm going to put it right over here. Even though some of the sticky is already sticking out there, I still, just to be secure, if I'm going to mail this to somebody or give it to somebody, I want it to stay. In the center part, I'll just put the Barely Art glue as a backup. But for now, I'm just going to put this in here. You don't necessarily have to glue down the tabs once they're already folded over and stuck. But in order to put it on the card, you got to have some kind of adhesive. And I just feel more comfortable with a little bit of the double-sided sticky tape. There we go. One more. There we go. And then I'm just going to put a bit of this Barely Art glue right in the center. Then we'll flip it over. We'll put her on here. Let's see if I can. I'm going to have to stand up for this one. Hold on. Because once we let go of this, it's going to stick. There we go. I got it. I got it. I got it. All right. There we go. I am going to rub it a little bit with this one just to make sure I get a really good hold on all of that. I hadn't decided, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put these papers on the inside. So here's the inside. I'm not going to make you watch me do that since it's getting late and I know you guys are done. But I'm going to put this white card base on the inside, and then I'm going to add this somehow to the bottom to decorate. It's an extra piece. I was just going to throw it away anyway, but I'm going to add it to the inside of the card like this because I think it'll just be cute like that. So this is going to be my card. And then whenever I'm ready to use her, I can just stick a sentiment up here and I'm good to go. I haven't decided which one, so we're just going to leave her like this. I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that you'll try to use just all one color sometime. I mean, look, you can really see the body through that skirt. It's really easy to do. It doesn't look like it is, but it is, I promise. Anywho, make sure you check in on Thursday, see if Dale is brave and decides to do a live. Otherwise, I will see you next Tuesday. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I hope everybody stays safe, no bad storms. And love you guys. I will see you next week. Good night.